All right. I believe that we're now recording. So I'm going to be doing a daily taping of 52 weeks of conscious contact. So for those of you who have been, hello Instagram, for those of you who've been in my Winner Circle program, you'll know that we read from 52 weeks of conscious contact every day. This year, we're going to go through a full year's reading together over in the Telegram group, and then some of them will link out into Instagram. So tonight's reading that's being recorded, and I'll put it back into the Winner Circle Telegram group for the replays. This book is 52 Weeks of Conscious Contact, Meditations for Connecting with God, Self, and Others by Melody Beattie. We read a few weeks, more than a few weeks last year in the cohort, but this year we're going to start from day 1 of the year and go and read for 365 days. So thank you to Aaron of Allure for coming to the first recording. Also Meow Mix Martha over on Instagram. Thanks for hanging out while you're doing your dishes. Week 1 is the quest, and then they move through the dark side, blessings, one day at a time, easy does it, harmony, goodwill. Like each week has a theme, but we'll get there in a second. This will only take about 10 minutes every day of recording, and it'll be good to be able to connect with the community either live in the Winner Circle, like here on the kitchen table, or on Instagram here, or in the replays. All right, so here's the introduction. May Beyonce add a blessing to the hearing of this word. Introduction. What's the name of that place? I asked my friend. I can't think of the name of it, but I know you know what I'm talking about. What place? It's that place you get to when you're taking care of yourself and trusting God. When everything is all right, even the hard, painful stuff. But it's more than taking care of yourself. That's cold. The place I'm talking about is warmer than that. A place where you're not childish, but where you're innocent like a child. The world comes alive for you. It's a magical place, I said. Maybe that's the name of it, she says. Maybe that's the name of it, she said. A magical place. Nope, that's too hokey, I said. It's more than that. Maybe it's what some people call the kingdom of heaven. Don't some people call it nirvana? She asked. I need more wine for this reading. Nope, that's too hokey, I said. It's more than that. Maybe it's what some people call the kingdom of heaven. Don't some people call it nirvana? She asked. No. Too many people think you don't go there until after you die. I didn't even know about it when I first started taking care of myself, I said. I found it later, years later, but I know other people know about it too. Although we never agreed on the name of that place, this book is about finding it. This book is less a meditation book and more a book about acquiring and practicing simple life values that will help us get there. The impetus for this book came from Alcoholics Anonymous, Step 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. Conscious contact is that place many of us have known, but it can be elusive. Sustaining conscious contact seems to require a curious balance between working hard and letting go. Each week we'll look at one idea or value drawn from the well of religious and recovery programs such as Alcoholics Anonymous and Al-Anon. Then we'll explore ways of consciously putting that value into practice throughout the week. You could read the entire weekly section on one day, apply the ideas throughout the week, and review your progress at week's end. Or if you prefer daily readings, you could read one of each week's 7 sections: a value, an application, a challenge, an inventory focus, an action, a gratitude focus, and finally a prayer. You could progress through the year following the course of the book, or you could find the weekly topic that applies to a current situation and work on that. This book is for people who want to do more than let life happen to them. It's for recovering drug addicts, alcoholics, codependents, people not addicted to anything. The chicken. people not addicted to anything, people in grief, people just a little on the obsessive side, people who attend church, temple, or synagogue, and people who don't. This book is for all of us who thought we could skim lightly over the surface of life, who then discovered that's not what we wanted after all. The gifts are below the surface. Have fun uncovering them. All right, guys. So, gals and people, these sessions usually happen in the morning. So I'll be reading them every morning on the lives and seeing how we feel about it. Week 1, day 1, because it's the first day of the year, I think. This week's theme is the quest. All right, day 1, and then I'll come back tomorrow and read day 2. Day 1, have you ever gone on a scavenger hunt or a treasure hunt? You have a list of things you're looking for, and it's up to you to get creative and find them. Let's pretend that you're on a treasure hunt. Only it's not pretend, it's real. In the introduction, we talked about that nameless place that so many of us are trying to get to, whether we know it or not. The treasures we're seeking are the values we acquire, and through practice, we create this magical place. I didn't start a formal spiritual quest of values because I wanted to. I started looking for and practicing many of my values because I had to. It was a do or die situation. I started praying because I was killing myself with alcohol and drugs and I couldn't stop drinking on my own. I needed help. I started learning about the value of living one day at a time because I found myself in such painful, overwhelming circumstances that there was no other way to survive. Most of my values resulted from painful or uncomfortable situations that demanded that I do something different. Sometimes in my quest for another treasure, improving myself, getting a better job, or improving a relationship, I discovered other treasures such as patience, faith, discipline, guidance, surrender, and service. Over time, I learned that these values were more than emergency care procedures. Living with these values was a good way to live. On one of my expeditions, I found myself on top of a famous holy mountain in China. I looked around at the people like myself who had forged their way to the top. Some of them were tourists. They had cameras around their neck. They looked like they were there to see the sights. Any difficulties they encountered on the way to the top were just irritating inconveniences. Others were more spiritually inclined. They considered each hardship a chance to prove their devotion to spiritual principles. They had humbled themselves by prostrating each step of the way. The trip was a pilgrimage. Each step was wholly invaluable. Whether you call it a quest, a process, a scavenger hunt, a treasure hunt, or a pilgrimage, like Ken Blanchard says, the only thing that will keep you going is a huge amount of faith and trust in the journey. This week, we will focus on valuing the pilgrimage and the lessons put before us. All right, so this week we'll be focusing on the quest as a theme in the Winner's Circle with Andre and the Flow. For those of you who are catching this over in the replay over in our private Telegram group, I'm so grateful for you, and I'm grateful that we're on this path for the rest of the year. I'll be stopping by into the Telegram group, especially every day, to read the passage and then post it up for people to come through later and partake. I'll also pin to the top of the group here a copy of the entire book in case you want to read it on your own without my speech impediments. But here's to the journey. If you're in the Winner's Circle or watching over on Instagram, Meow says that was lovely. I'll toss you an invite. I'll be reading from that book every day of this year. If the focus of the week is about pilgrimage, I definitely left New York City under bankruptcy. And took a pilgrimage down here to North Carolina to start this tour and my heart's mission. So it makes sense that this week's theme for the first of the year would be pilgrimage and focusing on the journey to happy places. And so if you're into having a journey to a happy place, I'm in a happy place. This wonderful air fryer that TT Nadia provided has crisped up the good seasoned chicken that I'm going to have for dinner. So I'm in a happy place and I'm in the goodness. And I'm really in 2023 personally, folks, trying to really get into the present moment and really appreciate the journey. There were so many life lessons in 2022 and I got them. And I know that that's going to make 2023 even better than it was. And if we're learning and growing as humans and trying to make ourselves better, and surviving at that, like I told my best friend tonight, I said, you have 100% success rate in keeping yourself alive as a human. Like you really do. Aaron, you do. Meow, it's Martha, you do as well. Andre in the flow, Dre, I have a 100% success rate at my journey so far. I haven't fallen out in the road yet along this journey. Meow, you have 100% success rate up until now, and you always will have a 100% success rate at taking care of your lovable heart. Aaron, same thing. Up until this present moment, the first day of 2023, you've never failed yourself. You've never failed. Aaron, you've never failed. Meow, Dre, we may have had tough patches of life and rough parts of the pilgrimage, but you and I, as beautiful, lovable humans, we've never ever failed. Not once, not yet. We're alive and we're well and we're loving people in our community and at large. So I hope that this was a good opportunity. I almost missed the opportunity because it's a few hours left in the day, but I said, this year I would like to read those passages to the community that stops by. Thank you, Aaron of Allure, for stopping by the Winter Circle tonight and hearing day one, week one of the year. But I'm going to go live every day and just have a moment of contemplation with this really, really juicy book and hope that the embracing of the pilgrimage and the quest happens for us inside and also outside. I don't know what 2023 has to offer. 2022, we have an inside joke in our community here. Like the whole bingo card of 2022 was like ripped into shreds and blown. Like 2022 was a wild card year. So many things happened that were planned and so many things happened that weren't planned. I'm very excited with a hopeful optimism about what 2023 is going to bring. But I can't predict it. So as long as we're together, Meow was asking earlier, like, what's going to be happening on the island? I don't know. I have some ideas, but as long as we're together, I feel like we're going to be able to accomplish so much. The last thing I'm going to say, and then I'll let y'all go, is there is a disease. There is a disease of isolation and separation that's trying to take over in the earth. Just give me a couple minutes more, then I'll end the lives. I'm noticing in my community, in a very real and heartfelt way, there's a disease of separation and disconnection. There's a myth that is everywhere that we're lonely and alone. I have to speak this very boldly and profoundly before I get out of here. There is a loneliness that I'm not gaslighting folks. I'm not saying that the loneliness and the feeling of loneliness isn't real. It's very real. I understand this. But this idea that we're separated from each other and that we can't reach out and ask for help and speak our wants and needs to beloved comrades and soul brothers and sisters is something that has to be dismantled brick by brick. I am here for you. That's the script. How may I be of service? I am here for you. I have friend after friend coming to me saying that they're lonely, depressed, and wanting to harm themselves. I'm here for you. Tell me how to help you along the quest. Not so that you can owe me anything, but so that your life isn't heavy along the quest. That's all I'm saying. If we live outside of the hidden thoughts and really start to just open our hearts up to love that's abundant and everywhere, we'll find that we have all the friends and family and all the things we need to live a content life. So I don't want to preach tonight, but that's my heart for the first day of the year. Please don't suffer alone. I don't anymore. I was last year. But don't suffer alone. If you're in a big ouch situation, don't harm yourself. Don't get into that black and white thinking of all or nothing. I'm having a bad day, things aren't working out, so I'm just going to end it all. Like, don't do that. Reach out. I'm literally on platform, either Instagram or Telegram, every waking hour. Not because I'm bored and have nothing else to do, but because it's part of my acts of service and my service heart to be present for people, but I cannot know what is not offered, and I don't have the energy also to chase people through the internet. So just hear me either now or in the replay. If you're having a rough time in life, just tap on the glass and say, Dre, I'm not feeling well, and we'll figure out together how to work towards a plan or a strategy to get you well. But I don't want anybody who's connected to me along the quest to feel alone. It's a horrible feeling. But like I said earlier in this particular live, my life feels a lot like, do you want to build a snowman? Because I'm always knocking on the glass, and then I find out, like, I'm always tapping on the glass, annoying some people, but then I find out, like, weeks later that a person, wanted to harm themselves in my community. I'm like, please reach back out for assistance and support if you're in a tough spot. You don't have to walk through these things alone. There's suicide hotlines and support systems and digital apps that will help you out of depression and give you tools and stuff. There's too many free resources and too much love for you to harm yourself. And maybe this isn't for the people who are in the room right now, but a big part of my heart and my mission is to try to rescue back the 800,000 people who kill themselves every year in this country, because life gets heavy. And the communication that I'm getting from multiple friends is that there's a feeling in the adult human heart of overwhelmment. People are overwhelmed. They're emotionally, spiritually, and physically overwhelmed and tired to such a degree that they want to die. That's a pandemic. And I promised I wasn't going to preach tonight, so I'm going to stop. But just stop by as often as you can in the digital spaces. Plug in. Say I love you. Ask for help this year. I haven't committed to a theme this year or a word of the year yet, but I just really want to learn how to ask for help more deeply and to be a safe place where people can ask for help more deeply this year. I don't want to cry about it. I won't cry about it. But I'm praying to be a deeper vessel of light for people who are in hurt that I don't even know about. And I know that feeling. I know the private pain feeling. But if I can do anything in my power this year with these programs or a chat or a phone call to take that from you, because I know what it feels like, I'll do it to the best of my ability. The private pain part.
And so that's why I'm like, do you want to build a snowman and keep knocking on? I mean, I'm knocking on your glass, but I'll continue to knock on other people's digital glasses as well, because people are hurting and we have no clue. We have to fix the heart of the matter. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Definitely in the Telegram space, maybe in the Instagram space. But I hope that your quest in 2023 is a pleasant one. I hope that we all this year get the years and the lives that we feel we deserve, and I hope that we know that we deserve it all because we are lovable. I love you, Meow. Thank you for stopping by and watching me do the chicken and the stir fry. Thank you to Aaron of Allure for being in the first reading. I'm going to post this replay over in Telegram so people can stop by and sniff around the goodness. But I've got high hopes and strong, positive vibes towards this year. I have a feeling that this one's going to be a good one. And because we're making conscious contact, as the book says, we are going to be just fine. I feel that very deeply. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be free of all suffering. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be free of all suffering. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be free of all suffering. And may love hold you in its big, 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 big hands. See y'all later. Have a good night. I love you. I love you. Thanks for being here.